Okay, we open the questions with Jean-Jacques.
So first of all, congratulations for the very impressive work that was done in the site. I mean, honestly, I'm impressed that you could dig down to 6 meters in a site. Seven. No, but first 6 that did not yield anything in the beginning, and to come back. So that's very impressive. And I also want to emphasize that, in my opinion, tampering is probably one of the best evidence we have for the occurrence of Homo sapiens in this corner of Asia. But I would urge you to be more critical about publications, and this is a point that has been raised already before. It's not because something is published that it's true, okay? So out there are many papers, including, I could mention one of my papers, that, you know, were what people thought 10 or 15 years ago or 20 years ago, and they don't think it anymore. And so it's not because something is published, even in a high-profile journal, that it becomes carved in the marble forever. And there are 2 points in your talk that made me react. You listed a series of fossils, especially from China, that you mentioned as possible early Homo sapiens. I don't think they are. And it includes things like Zhuchang or Zhujia and other things. I think they are Denisovans, and I think this will be proven sooner or later. So that's one thing. The story of the American site in California at 130,000. I mean, okay, if you want, I'll send you. There is a paper that was published in March in a journal called Paleo-America. If you want the reference, it's on my Twitter account. These guys, they took the plan of the road construction near the site, and they prove in this paper that the so-called cut marks with heavy-duty tools on these mastodon bones were made by the construction of the road. So I think it's not because something, even in Nature, is published, that it's, you know, so I don't think it makes your case stronger. In fact, I think it makes it weaker. And I think I would discount all these things and focus on your side, your conclusion, which I think are very convincing. And well, that's all what I have to say.
Robin? Yes.
Okay. Now, on the Chinese evidence, I would believe Tianyuan at 40,000 near Beijing. Xujia, yes, is a hybrid. It may be Denisovan, but it's not sapiens. Xu Chang is a hybrid, maybe Neanderthal features. The rest of it, even, I know I've written about Jirendong, which I think the dating is all over the place. Fuyan, again, it's sapiens, but again, dating's a problem. Stick with your evidence, which is, if you can nail down, I think it's Tampaling 5 and 7, the mandible and that frontal, at 70 or 80,000, and there's a secure baseline for Southeast Asia, along with, I think, Nida Adja in Sumatra. Kirawistaway's dating at 64 to 73,000 is reliable. Beyond that, at the moment, it's wide open. I agree entirely about that Californian side. It should never have been published. You think, come on, you have cut marks, no stone artifacts, no hominin remains, some alleged percussion instruments, a 20-year-old salvage excavation by a main road. Come on. So forget that one, please. No, the question I would have to ask, apart from saying stick with your own data is the most important because it's first class. Your colleagues, Anne-Marie Bacon, has suggested a savanna corridor up through Cambodia, the same way as one's been suggested down through Malaysia into Java, and that would open up a corridor into southern China. Would you go along with that argument?
Yeah, to fit totally. Yeah.
In MIS4?
Yeah.
Good. Good. Thank you.
I would agree with her. She's
Yeah.
my team.
Good. But it's first class.
Thank you. But it's terrible what you are all saying. I mean, fossils are being published. Okay, and well, it's true. I mean, we all agree that there is a problem with Chinese fossils being badly dated, but at some point we need to compare what we find with other fossils. So in the end, if we don't include them in the analysis, we...
No, I mean, there's
nothing to compare with.
no, but there is a real intellectual issue there, and I think when something is published, it has to be read and critically analyzed. And I mean, the American story is just crazy. I mean, this guy used the worst possible dating technique to date the site first. I mean, maybe Dirk can say something about the validity of the uranium series on bone in this kind of environment. It's just crap, first. Second, I tell you, the cut marks are matching the plan of a root construction. This is published. It's also a publication. So if you want a publication, you have one. It's Palo America, March 2019. And for the Chinese stuff, again, I mean, science is moving. There are stuff that Chinese published 20 years ago. Nobody had really idea what was going on in Asia at that time. And now we have a better picture. We see, I mean, the Xushan thing. You have this huge cranial capacity with inner ear structure that looks like Neanderthals. How on earth you could say this is the early Homo sapiens? There is absolutely zero argument for that, and it's not because it's printed in a paper that it's true. So I think of course is unpleasant because it makes our I would say environment insecure, but you have to be critical about things published.
Next question by Martin.
Yeah, I liked your talk, and I remember many years ago opening some drawers at the Laboratoire de Paléontologie, as it was at that time, and there were drawers and drawers of teeth of mammals from the Fromage collection, including a lot of monkeys.
Yep.
But the one thing that disappointed me about your talk is you didn't talk about the fauna that's associated. And did you find fauna in these excavations? And what sort of fauna did you find?
Very interesting question. This Tampaling site is not an occupation site at all. The humans never lived there. They lived outside, died outside, and have been washed inside the cave. So no occupation site, no stone tools, but we have some microfauna and some macrofauna. Several pieces only of macrofauna, such as hyena and rhinoceros. Last field season we found a complete rhinoceros tooth at 7 meters deep, so around 70 to 80,000 years ago, associated with the frontal we found. But Anne-Marie, she's back home, she's still currently analyzing this fauna remains. Yes, yes.
If I can add something, we have, secret, but one of our colleagues in Leipzig have done an isotopic study on the Malaco fauna from the site. And that gives a quite good, I would say, picture of environmental changes, temperature, etc. And she obtained a curve that basically highlight isotopic stage 2 and 3 and 4 and before until 5, and that match quite well the dates that has been obtained, especially by OSR and U-series. So I think there is a series of data that are reinforcing, in my view, the age of these fossils. Still, it's extremely puzzling to have a site where you have only humans. I mean, after speaking about Naledi, but they are not on surface. They are 6 meters deep. I think it's really impressive.
Any other question? Elena.
Yes, it was, as we've talked before about human and culture and the link, very important. I would like to have more details about the linking industries. You've talked about some tools, or no? Do you have something?
No, at this side there is no stone tools at all. I was talking about stone tools found at the rock shelter, which is totally different period. It's Wabinian dating from 13 to 3000, totally not in connection with what happened at the
So
cave.
no
There.
association?
No. Unfortunately, no.
Because it's very interesting if you want to confront with the other sites, also with Denisova, if we understand if the material is the same, but also with the Neanderthals, if there are some common points, yes, but some differences, it will be a good issue for further questions.
Yeah, but so far no stone tools.
In terms of morphology, in these hominins, there is nothing even remotely evoking Neanderthals or Denisovans, as far as we know something about the morphology of Denisovans.
Lee?
Just going back to the taphonomy, you say that these were externally derived and then washed in. What is the mechanism of burial of the remainder of the sediments? Is it a clear, continuous sediment washing in small layers, or is it catastrophic through the 7 meters? And are you getting a stratigraphy besides the dates in the sediment structures?
Yeah. The stratigraphy is very clear, I would say, boringly horizontal layers. And our geologist, Philippe, calculated that every century, 1 centimeter of layer could be added. So it means like, in the end, like every 10,000, every meters we go deep. We go deeper, we go 10,000 years older.
And it can be so continuous, knowing the process of sedimentation you described?
We are, it's calibrated with the OSL dates as well. And the dating is really going down regularly.
Okay, I suppose we are quite late, so I propose we continue the discussion around the coffee, if agrees. Okay, thank you very much, and see you after the coffee break.